Today's Morphin Network video is sponsored by Ranger Stop and Pop, which is now August the 27th to the 29th, 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia. And Ranger Stop Convention, which is now November 11th to the 14th, 2021 in Orlando, Florida. Go to rangerstop.com for more info.
I'll take them all.
Wonderful. Will you be paying with cash or credit?
How about nuts and bolts?
Nadira, you're gorgeous!
I know, Pluto. But feel free to remind me as often as you like.
Lucky colors that cool shade.
Don't mind painting myself blue for you.
I guess I'm so easy to understand. I just do whatever comes to me naturally. Alright, I do understand the feelings of a perfect
So cute. I had to shave it.
He reminds me of parsley when he's standing there.
Makes me wanna be his speciality.
I guess I'm just a substandard girl. But there are nights that I have trouble going to sleep. Sweet, you're so sweet. So many things I want. Sweet, sweet, you're so sweet. I wanna be a wonderful girl. Sweet, you're so sweet. I'm not simple-minded. Sweet, you're so sweet. And I won't be a pearl. You probably need me just as much as I need you. Hey,
Kate, how are you doing so far? How's your day?
Wonderful. It's just a beautiful day in paradise. Loving life. How about you guys?
We're doing good too. It's hot here in LA. It's like 90 degrees. So, yeah, pretty much it's sunny. Things are going back to normal slowly.
We're almost through it, so.
Excellent.
Miss Sheldon, how you
Yes.
started with acting?
How did I get started in acting? Well, by accident. And let's see. So I was on a sales call. I owned a company where I was on a sales call, and I walked into a business, and the parking lot was filled with trailers. There were very important people running around with headsets on, and there were wires and lines everywhere, and lighting, and all kinds of electronics and equipment, and everything was just moving fast. And I said, "What's going on here? This looks like the movies." And they said, "Yes, filming this TV show here in San Diego where I was living." And I said, "Wow, there's a lot of people involved. I didn't realize there's like 150 people working on a typical set." And it just looked so exciting. I said, "How does someone get involved in the business?" And they said, "Well, you should be an extra." I said, "An extra? What does that mean?" And they said, "Well, the background." And that's like someone walking in the background or sitting at a cafe, eating, drinking in the background behind the main actors. And so they said, "Just call the casting company and you can be an extra." And I said, "Okay, that sounds like fun." So I called them up and went into an interview, and they tried to hire me to be a casting assistant. And I said, "Oh no, I don't really want to be a casting assistant. I'd like to be on camera." So they said, "Okay, well, report tomorrow to this TV series. It's called Nightman." And it was being filmed by the famous producer Glenn A. Larson, who did Battlestar Galactica and Night Rider. And all kinds of amazing movies and TV shows. And so I showed up and I got to be an extra that day. And at the end of the day, like 10 o'clock at night, I got a call from the casting director or the agent. And she said, hey, we need you to show up and be the personal assistant to the director. And I said, what? What do you mean? And they said, well, the personal assistant quit today. And so they wanted you to fill the part. And I said, well, how do they even know who I am? And they said, well, we saw you at lunchtime. At lunchtime, the extras eat last. And I was observing the line, and it was like a 6-hour day, and I was starved. And there was one long line and a big long table, and people were taking a lot of time to gather their utensils and their napkin and their plate. So I quickly created 2 lines and was pre-rolling up utensils and handing out plates. And the line went super fast, and the extras ate. And I was super hungry, so I got to eat too. I was very excited, but the director had remembered that, and he says, whoever that person was, I want to hire her because she's really efficient. And I said, okay, well, sounds fun. And so for about a year, I got to be his personal assistant. And then when he wasn't filming, I got to be a stand-in on the TV series. How everything operated with screen etiquette and set etiquette and camera angles and shot schedules. And it was fascinating because I had no idea how the whole thing worked. And so for about a year, I got to observe and participate and enjoy that. And so the experts were talking one day and they said, well, what's the next step? How do you become an actor? And they all said, well, you need to get an agent. And so I said, well, how do you do that? And they said, well, there's this book called The Blue Book. I'm a French bookstore, and I don't even know if is that still a thing?
Yes, because I have a god sister that actually is checking acting right now, and he still uses the Blue Book. So they still do it.
I guess it's the gold standard. So in the Blue Book lists every single agent and who they represent, whether they represent leading ladies, leading men, or ingenue or child actors. And I was an ingenue, which is someone that's usually 16 to 25, and that's a young actress. And so having been in business for several years, I decided to send out, I got some headshots printed up, and I sent them to all the agencies that were looking at ingenues, that were hiring, not hiring, but looking to represent ingenues. And no one responded for the first few days. And then I realized I could send it to not just the Los Angeles agents, but also San Diego and Orange County. And not only that, you could have commercial agents and theatrical agents. So theatrical is TV and film. And so I could technically send this to 6 different groupings of agents and be represented by all of them. So I sent them off, and within a day, I got a call from a local San Diego casting company. And they said, well, we have tons of people already. We're not really interested, but we'll send you on this little audition just to see what the casting director thinks. And so I went on the audition, and I didn't really understand the language of the audition. This was kind of at the beginning of the tech industry, and all the actors were saying, what does it mean to click on the links? What is a link? What is this? And it turned out to be an America Online commercial for this company called America Online that no one had heard of, and I got it. And it was a national commercial. And so the casting company and the agent said, well, yes, we'll represent you now. And so from that, I got probably 50 different commercials for a lot of major companies back to back in a short period of time. And then, so I sent out another swath of headshots to the agencies in San Diego, Orange County, and LA. And then I got a call back from a small Orange County casting company who's named Marianne Berzon, and she's a lovely lady from New York, and she talks like this. Darling, I think you need to come in and talk to me, and here we need to interview you. So I went in and met with her, did some readings. He says, oh, you don't have any experience. You don't have any theater. You don't have any film, any TV. I said, well, I have extra work and stand-in work, a lot of commercial work. And she said, okay, darling, I'll send you out. So a few days later, I get a call, and she said, oh, there's this show. I think it's a cartoon, and they're looking for your type. So you must look, you must go. It's in Valencia. And so from San Diego, where I lived, it's like a 3 and 4 hour drive. I said, okay, man. So I drove all the way there. And what I didn't know is that I was one of the last people that they'd seen out of over probably 500 people who looked just the same type as me. So I walked in, and the lovely Iris Hampton, the casting director who you guys all know, sat me down. We did a reading, and then she said, all right, do the reading again one more time and be really witchy. Okay. So I did the reading one more time, and I left. And the next day I got a call back, And they said, you need to come in today. And I said, okay, I'm in the car, I'm driving. So I drove all the way back to Valencia, and I saw groups of 5 girls in the building at a time as I was in the parking lot putting my outfit on, because it's a 4-hour drive, you know. And they all were same height, same type, same look, everything. And so I walked in, and there's 30 other girls that look just like me standing in the waiting room area. Everyone's kind of nervous and looking around, looking at all of our duplicate, you know, lookalikes. And then they called us in 5 at a time. And so I got to read with all these. And then shortly they said, all right, everybody, thank you. We're done. We just want to keep 2 people. And if your name isn't called, thank you for coming. And so they named my name. And I was like freaking out. I couldn't believe it. And they had me reading with another girl who happened to be represented by Vernon Wells' manager as well. I found out later. They had me reading the Pink Ranger and her reading Nadira. And then they had me reading the Yellow Ranger and her reading the Pink Ranger, and they were mixing and matching and everything. And I remember the room. There was the famous Koichi Sakamoto, who is the amazing director of many years of Power Rangers, not just in America, but in Japan as well. And then the producer and 3 other people. And so they had us reading. And there was a part where Nadira was supposed to be really upset, ticked off, and turn around and walk away in a huff. And so I did, and I walked right into the wall. And it was really funny, apparently, because fell off his chair laughing. He thought it was so funny. And I asked him later, why did you pick me? And he said, well, you're really funny. And he says, also, you have those eyes. I think Power Rangers loves the eyes.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, you already answered question 2 about the auditioning process for Power Rangers. So what was it like filming Time Force? Like, what was it like doing that show?
It was so much fun. Excuse me a moment. Hey, Reeve, could you grab me a glass of water, please? Thank you. Thank you. Oh, there's one of them. Where's the other one?
Hi. Hello. Hi.
They're cute.
What was it like while filming Time Force? What was the experience like?
It's the biggest adventure of all time. We were filming in different parts of the city every day. We were working on the soundstage too, which was rotating and changing. The cast was the best part, and the crew. And it was kind of like a real tight family. So there were about 60 crew members on a given day. And so we got to catch up with everybody every day. And when you arrive, you wake up around 4:30 in the morning, drive to the studio, and it's kind of like a scavenger hunt because you receive the day before a map of where you're supposed to go. And so I get in my car, and this is really before the internet was really big. So I back up Google the directions just to make sure. And I always got there 15 to 30 minutes early. That's something that Vernon Wells taught me. Is always be early, never be on time or late. So you would arrive and go to the breakfast first. And I loved the catering. The food was amazing. So I would usually get coconut waffles and carrot juice and Canadian back bacon. And they had everything. It was amazing. So you'd sit there and eat and then go into makeup and hair for about an hour and a half. So you'd be sitting in the makeup chair and they'd be, puffing and puffing and adding makeup and everything, and there's some nice music on and chit chat with the makeup artist and whoever's in the other makeup chair, which was usually Rancic because his makeup is longer than mine. And then we would go back to our trailer and relax. And that's what they told us to do, is relax. So there was someone assigned to stand outside my trailer and let me know when it's time to go. And so I was really relaxed. I was so excited for the day. We'd be looking through all the sides and the scripts for the day and starting with which page and which scene and making sure I knew my lines and kind of feeling the vibe. And then call you to go to the set, and we'd shoot about 12 hours a day and sometimes longer. And sometimes, like in the downtown areas, there'd be throngs of fans lining the street, explosions and all kinds of pyrotechnics, and the big barriers up in the lines, and there'd be extra security. Because people were always like, "Oh, I want to watch." They would like try to get in the picture and try to get in the scene. And so that was always exciting. Sometimes we were filming in neighborhoods, like in a suburban area. Like a lot of the car chase scenes, they would shut off all the streets when I was usually knocking off a bank or stealing something, and we'd be racing in these cars, but the streets would be locked off and everything. And there. By the way, this is my star from Movie Madness. It was on the trailer. Yes. And then you probably have all seen, oh, there we go, my cool outfit. And that's Olivier, the cat, who was on the set. And no, stay over there, please. Yeah, please don't. Okay. So we'd have to contend with fans like this who are always like, hey, forget your lines, look at me. Okay, yeah, you can watch that. Go ahead. They're gonna go Tom Cruise movie upstairs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Keep us occupied. Yeah.
You met one of those. That's the Power daughter from Morphicon 2 years ago. And the Red Ranger daughters were the other two Power daughters.
Right. Didn't recognize her because she's so grown up. Because
I know.
I know.
It's been 2 years. It's hard to believe. I can't wait for the next in-person Morphicon.
Yeah, so next year, so.
It'll be in August. Yeah, I'm super excited.
I think it's next June. Nadira, Kate, yeah. Yeah.
What was it like filming your fight scenes?
Oh, those were so much fun. So I did martial arts background, so I quickly became really good friends with the stuntmen, and there were 6 of them on a regular basis. And I joined the Stuntmen of Los Angeles Association. Actually, I didn't join it officially, but I went to all their workouts on Wednesday nights at LA Valley College, and I was the only female there, and I was therefore covered in bruises for about a year and a half. And we would fight in this small area of maybe 50 feet by 50 feet with wires and weapons and all kinds of things that you would jump on and swing around on. And I think that was pretty much my favorite part of everything, was just learning the technique of fight. And Nadira, being an offensive person, not really defensive, but always on the offensive, had the coolest moves. So the guys were always coming up with new ideas for me to attack the Rangers and everything. So I really enjoyed that. And I also attended a couple of stunt practice sessions with the Rangers too. And that's when I first met them before we even started filming, because everyone was required to go through a couple different training. So we would become adept and learn how to look authentic. But no, it's not exactly self-defense. It's more for show. A lot of the actual fight moves are more extended for the camera, but they sure do look good.
Right. You have to be a skilled fighter if you're able to knock the Pink Ranger down with one kick.
Yep.
Yes. And I had a couple of stunt doubles that were lovely, that taught me a lot as well. And Eileen and Krista, and they both were tinier. They were smaller than me. But when we had the costumes on, you really couldn't tell us apart. So it was fun to work with them. And I really loved it.
One thing, right quick before we get to the next question. So in the first episode, when you guys get to the prison and take it over and, time travel back, you get to shoot down a few guards. Do you actually kill them, or it's not officially said on screen, like if they just were knocked out or anything, but she did shoot them, right? You did shoot them.
And I also, as you know, with Power Rangers, it's a kids show. And so we're not allowed to use that kind of words. We're supposed to use destroy or end or finish off.
Yeah.
It was really great. The script writers were very creative in any type of vernacular that didn't involve the KILL word.
I mean, you technically did murder her. Like, there's no way to keep you alive. There's no way.
We don't see him again after Rancic and Frax enter, so.
Well, that particular guard was played by Ruben the stuntman, and he's in a couple. I off him in a couple of other scenes as well.
Any fun behind the scenes moments while filming Power Rangers?
Oh,
That you could say. That you could say.
too much fun. Let's skip that and come back to it. I'm trying to figure out which ones to tell you.
Okay. So the next question after that was technically, so what was the experience coming back for the Wild Force reunion?
Oh, that was amazing. And I got prepared for it with the Lightspeed rescue reunion the year before, which I wasn't expecting. And it was so surprised to meet Vipra, the villainess before me. There she is. She's awesome. Jennifer Yen is her name. She and I are still friends. we go to afternoon tea and high teas all over the place. And she has her own business empire doing skincare and cosmetics. So she's pretty amazing. But so Wild Force was really amazing and interesting. And as usual, we all got along wonderfully. And the last scene in the picnic and everything, where Nadira was kind of flirting with the Blue Ranger. That wasn't scripted, but it was fun because of looks from the series from the year before.
That reminds me, you said you're still friends with Jennifer. Did you get to meet Sin Wong while you were on Wild Force? She was the head villain of she was the head female villain of Wild Force. And you guys don't meet, but I was like, you never bumped into her?
No, we don't. But all of the Time Force cast and I are still really good friends. We see them all the time. In fact, we're planning a trip to visit them in August, and we'll all meet at Kevin's restaurant, the Green Ranger. And every time we get together at these conventions, it's just one big happy family. And Erin actually came out and visited here where I live in the mountains. She was doing a film festival, and I talked her into doing a show and tell, or a coming classroom. And in the 1 hour that I asked her to attend, it had turned into a full school assembly. Yes, and paparazzi, and it was so funny. We opened up the whole thing with a fight scene between me and her. And everyone's looking at the screen and looking at me and going, that's not the mom that put this thing together. Really fun. And then Jason and I talk frequently, and the other Rangers, we all exchange Christmas cards, and still, even though I don't live in California anymore, we all still stay in touch.
That's great. There's Time Force is definitely one of those special seasons. Like there's definitely something different about it compared to the others. And when the cast is working great together, you got something special, and you guys definitely did turn out something amazing.
Yeah, I'll say this too. You guys were the first season I actually truly loved, because I think last week was the first season to watch on TV, but you guys made me fall in love with Power Rangers. You made me go fall and watch the past season. So thank you.
Thank you.
And also, sorry, next question, Ken. Got your next one?
Wait, didn't you? Oh, okay, I'll ask it because I want to bring up something else. What is your favorite trait about Nadira?
Her over-the-top fashion sense, or lack of over-the-top fashion sense. And it was always so much fun to show up in my trailer and see some cool outfit hanging there that I had never seen before, and put it on. And Erin, the Pink Ranger, was always saying, you have the coolest clothes and the coolest lines. We almost swapped one day because we're same height, kind of same everything. We were going to fool everybody. It just was going to take an extra hour for her makeup to get converted to Nadira makeup. So we never ended up doing that, but we were going to fool everybody. It was going to be very funny. But the outrageous clothing that Nadira was always stealing or showing up with, or I don't think she ever really acquired anything legally, but I'm wearing one of the outfits right now, and then I've got a whole bunch. You can't kind of see them. I keep them in boxes, and also I have a luggage rack filled with them. I got to keep quite a few outfits, and I'm very grateful that the wardrobe department let me. There was one scene where I was knocking off a clothing store, and they had all clothes that they had gotten from the LA Garment District. I got to keep 50 of those pieces. I ended up sending those to my niece for Christmas one year, like in a big box. It wasn't even Christmas. It was just like, surprise!
You ever think about starting up your own Nadira boutique?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
One thing before we get to the next question I want to bring up. So Nadira easily has one of the best redemption arcs of the Power Ranger villains. She helps give birth to a baby, and she starts to see humans she doesn't hate them as much. Do you know if that was originally planned the whole time? Because your Sentai counterpart Leela, she just vanishes from the story. She realizes something bad's about to happen, and she just disappears. We never see her, the Rangers never capture her. If that was gonna be a similar fate for her, or was they planning something else for Nadira?
Well, my character took on a character of its own early on. That's why they kind of abandoned the short hair and the Japanese counterpart. And the writers, Judd Lin and Jackie Marchand, had full license to just go wherever they wanted with it. A lot of fun. I remember looking and reading through some of the scripts and just giggling and laughing, especially when we got to Movie Madness. But the they came up, it's just wonderful. And I did ask Jackie last Power Rangers convention about that, and I think she said that it was just the character just took its own form on it, and took it from there, and it was fun to write for. She said it was really fun and different. It was not just the usual "I'm gonna get your Rangers" type thing. It was funny. So
yeah. What I like about your guys' season was even like it was like during that time, like you guys it was like mature enough for younger audience to enjoy. Like story, the writing, like heck, I watched it like I just watched it 4 hours ago, and it still has good writing. It still lives up to this moment.
Yeah, I probably most everyone says that their series was the best, but I really do feel like ours was. I've heard it.
Yeah, I'm like if you actually went to Morphin 2016, your panel was like
the most visited.
I checked. I was like a long line. I don't know if you could see it outside, because I was there. Like it was like a long line. I'm like, holy shoot! I went up to the person in the like street. Like I was like, I thought it was my Morphin's. Like no, it's not. I was like, this is like so.
Was that the one that the Rangers were late because Rancic and I were blah blah blahing on the microphone for?
I think so. That was 2016. Yeah.
That was epic. That was so. The audience was totally giving us feedback, and we just kept going and going and going with my evil papa, and it was.
Yes. Aww.
There he is without his headpiece on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we would frequently tango around and the set, and there was always something to dance to. Even if there was no music, we'd be tangoing.
I imagine it's hard to get bored on a set like Power Rangers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And sometimes at night when we do the night shoots, that's overnight, so you'd start at like 8 p.m. and end at 6 a.m. You'd have to be keeping yourself awake. So we would come up with funny songs and jokes and a lot of dancing. In between.
Now, speaking of filming, my next question is, what was your favorite episode of film?
Oh gosh, I loved them all. But Movie Madness really stands apart. And I didn't know what Roy Rogers Melody Ranch was until I arrived that morning with my little map and looked at this western facade with the High Noon Street and the saloons and the barns and the general store. And so many westerns have been filmed there, from Gene Autry, John Wayne, Roy Rogers, and then suddenly there I was. So we got to be there for 3 or 4 days, and it was so amazing. My best friend came and visited from another state, and that made it even more fun because she'd never been on a set before. The stuntmen were carrying her around like Cleopatra. It was super wonderful. And there were horses, and I hadn't worked with horses before. And I got to work with both the Red Ranger and the Green Ranger in one. Usually it was just the Pink Ranger that I was trying to destroy, or just the Red. But it was really cool to work with Trip and Wes. And lots of cyclobots backing me up. So I think it's every actor's dream to start a barroom brawl and end up in a high noon standoff on the main street. And that's what I got to do.
Most definitely.
The whole cast, we always ask what's your episode. They all took Movie Madness, same thing. So
yeah. Oops.
And let's not forget Mad Max's, Vernon, in the big pink dress.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, the tutu. Can you guys still hear me? I don't know if I turned
off.
Yeah,
we can hear you.
We can hear you.
I hear you better. I was kind of turning it down a little bit. But yeah, it was great. It was brilliant how the writers wound in all the different scenes, the musical with Katie, and then being in a cage with cannibals, with Quantum Ranger, and Pink Ranger fighting in China. And then they wound it all together with Vernon in a tutu.
Yeah.
Yes. Made for an interesting experience. What would you say Nadira would be doing? Okay, let's be a little creative here. What would you say she'd be doing in the year 3021?
Definitely teaching self-defense to children and survival techniques and self-sufficiency. So I'd be teaching kids how to change tires and how to utilize weapons. Anything can be a weapon. It doesn't have to be a GUN. It can be a pencil. It can be, so a lot of self-defense and mentoring kids and helping them choose the right path in life. And so good over evil.
Definitely.
And we got to see that in the Wild Horse team up, which was cool.
Yes. I was a little kindergarten preschool teacher, but definitely working with kids and loving it because Nadira really never had a real true childhood. And she had kind of a trouble growing up. And so she gets to relive that working with kids. What do you guys see her doing?
I see her married with Lucas and having a kid. That
too. Definitely.
I think you said something about she's probably living on like the planet Warlar.
Yeah, she's off in another galaxy, light years away, rotating in different levels of consciousness of the current, the past, and the present. So, yes, with Lucas, for sure.
Yes.
At least you can drive.
Yeah, at least you can drive. So at least have a good race car driver to drive you all around.
That's right. I need a real driver. Not Dash.
Definitely no best.
So our final question for you, Kate, we're going to go to fans. Oh, you didn't answer the advice, but we'll go to the back. So, what's the advice to aspiring actor or actress that want to go and?
Well, never give up. Vernon Wells always told me it doesn't matter who you know or what you know. It's the person who's standing the longest is the one who gets the work. So just keep on keeping on. And I didn't have any formal acting training, but I know a lot of people do. And I looked at acting as not just a craft and a creative outlet, but as a business as well, and worked the numbers by sending out as many headshots as I could to the different agents. And now I think you send them out to managers, and you are represented by a manager and a lawyer, not so much as an agency anymore. Traditionally, that's what it was like. So just kind of treating it like a business and not taking no, and not being bummed about rejection, because for every 100 jobs, I think that auditions, maybe only 5 or 10% are what people will get. And there's a lot of people making a living as an actor in Hollywood and New York. And so you can definitely, you can make a living and enjoy it. And now with social media, you can have your own shows too, so.
Exactly.
Technology, even though it's also torturous. So do you have any behind the scenes experiences while on it, or like memories
that you can talk about?
That I can talk about. That's the caveat. Well, let's see. Well, one day we were filming with the Rangers, all of them, in the sound stage, and we kept hearing kittens meowing. Have you guys heard this?
No.
I don't think so.
So
Yeah,
there was a mother cat that had kittens right below the floorboards of the sound stage the night before or the day before, and they couldn't move the sound stage, and they couldn't get to the kittens, and they were better not even try to get to those kittens, believe me. And so the kittens were ruining every shot. So we ended up having to voice over almost the entire scene, and because all you would hear is. So that was in between Jason farting and with Kevin. That was the sound that one would hear. I'm sure you've heard those stories, right?
Oh no, this is actually the first time I was hearing this.
So let me see, what else? When I first arrived on the set, the very first day of filming, I walked into Vernon's trailer just to introduce myself, and he was listening to Headbangers Ball, some heavy metal, Metallica, something. And I said, "Hi, my name's Kate." And so I just wanted to introduce myself, and he was literally rocking out heavy metal at 6 o'clock in the morning. And he says, "Oh yeah, I'm just getting primed up for my scene here." And I'm like, "All right, so nice to meet you." And so then I thought, I wonder what kind of music I should listen to. So I ended up listening to the theme from Austin Powers a lot, because that kind of yes.
Behave.
Yes.
I'll be
Pretty fun. Yes. So let's see. And there were many scenes when Vernon would ad-lib and come up with something totally hysterical. He'd be going on, and his costume was so heavy, I felt bad for him. It was heavy, it was 100 degrees, it was black, it was vinyl, and we're all sweating like pigs. And he would sometimes just come out with the wrong word, and then he would go on, and they kept going, and they filmed this. I have the outtakes, so maybe I can. They're on tape. I can probably send them to you if you're interested. But they were funny and hysterical. The crew would be laughing. We'd all be hysterically laughing at some of the stuff he would be saying. And those were probably my favorite moments behind the scenes. That was actually on the scene. And we had access to all the video. It's called the dailies each day before it was cut and before it was put into movie TV format or movies formats for the movies that were produced. And then we also there was a set photographer that came about once a week and would just document. He was a documentary photographer. And so we'd get to go to the studio on Wilshire Boulevard and look at the slides every week if we were interested. And I have a lot of those as well. And those are behind the scenes, but those are nice mementos.
Nice. These are great stories. And fans are who asked the question. So I get we finished this 10th segment. Now, Kate, are you ready to say hi to your fans? Well, the comments section. Well, questions. I mean. Awesome.
Are you ready to say hi to the people watching?
Yes. Hi, everybody. Hello. Thanks for watching.
Let's see. Aaron Bill's asking, hi, Kate. If you had to choose color for coloring your hair permanently, what color would it be? Pink? I love Nadira. You did a great job. Saying, aw. Oh, Argentina.
Argentina. Did I meet you at Power Morphicon 2 years ago? There's an Argentina crew that came through. 2 guys. Really handsome. Pink. It definitely would be pink. And there was a lot of talk of switching up the hair to blue and green and other colors, but the makeup and hair ladies just continued to go with pink. And they would style it differently and everything, but I love pink.
Kevin Short says, what's up, guys? Well, hello.
What's up, guys? Hi, Kevin.
Hello. We're asking Grace from India. Oh,
hi. Oh my gosh. Hello. I'm so grateful that you're tuning in. Wow. You get the award for furthest away from me. You're exactly halfway around the world.
And his question is, I watch your Senate counterpart, or your Senate, Time Ranger.
Yes, I saw several of the episodes. And as you know, a lot of those are intercut with the series that I was on. So, and if you look really closely, you can tell it's her and not me.
That reminds me right quick. So your costume is slightly different than Leela's, of course. Do you know if it is recycled from hers, or did they make one completely original for you?
Well, that's interesting. No, it looks like it's pretty similar. The skirt that I have is shorter, and I went to the famous Mr. O, the clothier to the stars in Beverly Hills, to get that skirt custom tailored. I think my legs, I'm a lot taller than she is, and so they shortened the skirt. They still had the same chain. And then that chest piece, it was a custom mold, and so was the helmet. I like to think of the costume as kind of a cheerleader, lacrosse racer from the future. That's what it looks like.
Very fitting.
And, yeah.
Everyone's asking, aw.
Thank you, Edward. That is very kind of you. I can't believe it's been so long since we filmed, but that is a very nice compliment. Thank you.
Oh my God, my cousin. Her first request. Okay.
Can I do my Nadira voice?
Scenario.
Scenario, you forgot to pay the electric bill.
Oh no, he's asking if you can do a scene, like pretend you're Nadira and then like you forgot to pay the power bill. So let's say let's play this. You spend too much on watching TV and your dad is mad at you. How would you react?
Well, you forgot to pay the electric bill. Are you kidding me? Give me a break. I want to watch the TV. Daddy, please. Can I just go rob a bank now? Dash? Where's Dash?
That reminds.
Get over your tracks. Oh, Daddy kids. I need a new dress. This one got filthy from lying on the street.
Anything you want, my dear.
Okay,
That was good.
That reminds me. Next Morphicon, if you and Katrina Brownie are there again, I would love it if maybe you could see like what your characters how they would interact with each other, because that'd be interesting.
Yes, that would. I would love to do that. That sounds like fun.
Oh, Anthony Merchant is like, hello and happy. Oh yeah, it's 20th anniversary.
It is 20 years, Anthony. You're right. It feels like yesterday, and it seems just like time hasn't passed.
Yeah, and I was 6 years old in 2001 too. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah.
That's awesome.
It's like you blink and suddenly it's 2 decades later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it only goes faster.
David Rickmus is asking, what do you think happened with?
Well, David, I'm pretty sure they're together. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
No question about it. The perfect couple. Don't you think their kids are going to be beautiful?
Oh, that'd be interesting. Maybe one could have spiky pink hair.
Yes.
Yes, the girl.
Yes. Hasbro or a comic book series based on these two couples, so we know what happens in the future. So. Let's see. Oh,
Morphs to figure out what it would look like. It's good.
my mom was here. Hey, Mom. So how did you put your long blade nails in the show? Oh, what was it?
Well, Rosario, I had 3 different blades. The first was life cast with plaster and everything, and so it was attached to a glove, and they looked more like a grill accessory. So midway through, actually, through the first few episodes, they swapped over to super long blades, and I have a horse, and that's what my nails aren't on right now, but. Of course, they were super long and they were plastic. And then I had another mid-range one that were everyday length. And it made it very hard to open the trailer door. So I'd be sitting there trying to open it because the trailer door had this little tiny thing and I'd be like pawing at it to get it open and everything. But they definitely added a little something extra for a character. And they were fun to whip out with the lights and the flashes and to attack with.
I remember at Morphicon during the villain panel, you said something about the makeup people weren't happy when you were eating potato chips while wearing those.
Yeah, well, Viper, they would frequently find her nails in the potato chip bag. And one day I found mine in the potato chip bag. And this is villainesses in your potato chips and your fake nails. And yeah, definitely, you really can't even pick your nose when you've got those things on. And they get all day long, they're glued on. And so you have to peel them off with solvent at the end of the day. And so I had to use a nail builder because my nails started disintegrating from the glue that was attaching them. But they sure added a little something to the character.
Wow. It's like Jennifer had makeup problems the previous year, and you had nail problems the second.
Oh, it's inevitable. Anytime something like that is on, it's one of the props that you get to manage. At least I didn't have to wear the colored contact lenses Tina described. That sounded awful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should be this picture.
Yeah. We have a few more. Oh, yeah. Animal is absolutely love. We read this. Aw.
Ooh, yes,
And
me too.
then our good friend Jen saying, "You're the reason why I have long nails."
Whoa, Genesis. I want to see your nails.
I don't know if you remember her. She's the one actually interviewed you 2 years ago. 3 years ago. Yeah, she was the one.
Of course I remember her. She's timeless. Yes.
So Jen, she remembers you. You're watching this still.
Yes.
That's pretty much it. Okay. So again, guys, thank you guys so much for being part of this special interview. Kate, it was an honor for you being part of special guest. Before we leave, where can fans find you, or do you have any stuff you want to talk about, or anything, or closing comments?
Thank you all for being fans. Thank you all for supporting the Power Rangers and Time Force, and for tuning in. And I wanted to also thank Leonard for the banner that was created for promoting this show. And thank you guys. You're the best. I love your tenacity and your professionalism, and I will always be there for you.
Thank you.
Oh,
David. Sorry, Logan says, I love that. Yeah, Master Rider. And then
yes, Lucas, Rider.
And last one. Hey guys, regards from Peru. Aww.
Wow, Peru. Wow. That's so lovely. Thank you. Oh my gosh. My heart is so warmed.
And thank you, Kate, for saying this awesome words. Before we leave, Kent, where can I find you?
You can find me on Instagram, brown_K, as well as QR Ranger Book, where I show this behemoth off. And Ryan, where can we find you?
Instagram, DancerBoy247. Please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at the Morphin Network. All right, guys. Happy Saturday. We'll see you guys soon. And MorphinCon Online is coming. It's actually what we're doing right now, so I hope you guys can watch that. So, yeah. All right, guys.
Have a nice weekend.
Today's Morphin Network video is brought to you by Karson's Korner. Karson's Korner is a black LGBTQ owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises. These franchises include King of the Hill, Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and of course, most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at www.carsonscorner.com.